Hey guys, it's the WalterFootball.com After Dark Show for January 26, 2025. We're going to be doing the final thoughts here for the NFC Championship and the AFC Championship for the 2024 NFL season. Before we get into all the picks and all the other stuff that we're going to be talking about, please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video. Visit the link in the description for the merch store. I am wearing one of those shirts, a Walter, it's kind of hard to see with this camera, Walter Football green, dark green shirt. It's part of our summer collection, which I've gotten out of the closet prematurely here, 6 months or so prematurely. So you can get that as well as everything else here on the merch store. Everything, let me refresh this page just to make sure. I think, yeah, everything's still 25% off, except for the mug. I don't know why, but everything else 25% off, including the apron. So you can get stuff at a discount that's pretty close to what it was near Cyber Monday. That was like 30% off, but 25% off, so pretty good. You go to Amazon, buy my books. The previous book I wrote is Jerks of the College Years, where I made fun of people I met at Penn State, and I spent 6 years there. So as you can imagine, I ran into a lot of weird people. And also how the 2020 MVP was stolen, which is an expose I wrote about how Brett Favre tried to sabotage Aaron Rodgers. True story. You can read all about that. It also has the genesis of the nickname No Cookie Jordan Loves. So if you were ever wondering about that, you can read all about that. Also, please consider super chats, super stickers. That's the best way to support the show. We had a great super chat from Alan Stafford, $10 on Tuesday. We had I believe it was $781 from Slew on Wednesday in celebration of the birth of his granddaughter. So thank you, Slew, once again, and once again, congratulations on your granddaughter's birth. Also, John Sanders super chatted us as well, 411 super chat on Tuesday. So thanks so much, guys. Just really appreciate it. Can't say that enough because it is bleak. It's January. No one's advertising. Like, at least in December, the YouTube ads, like I say, we made nothing. It's still like pretty much nothing, but like now it's like really nothing. It's like bottom of the barrel with stuff. Like I would have to I could walk around this, like my sidewalk here for like 10 seconds and find change and like make more than what we usually do. So the super chats, super stickers really help so much. So all right, we are joined once again by Quacky T. Tom, how's it going? How was your week 20 viewing experience?
Walter, here we are again. It's great to be here as always, and a big shout out to the entire Walter football family. Shout out to everyone who's been. I appreciate that. I've been tweeting a little more and interacting with some of y'all in between the shows, so it's been a lot of fun. I appreciate everyone hanging out and joining. And Walter, I mean, come on, you mean to tell me that I go 2-0 last week? I was getting trolled in the comments of last week's show, which I love. But can you believe it? Yours truly picks 2 football games correctly. So, let me have my day in the sun here. But I'm excited to get into it with this week and whatever else as is well documented. Our banter knows no boundaries. So
my dad is convinced that Jake Elliott was in on the take and that he missed those extra points on purpose. It was like if he hits one, the Eagles push the closing line and cover all the other lines. And if he hits both of his extra points, then the Eagles cover. Now I'm thinking that you might have been involved. You happen to have this crown. You happen to call the Rams right before. I don't know, man. I think you and Jake Elliott were up to no good here.
Have you ever seen this old? It was like a made-for-TV Disney movie, if I'm not mistaken, with Tony Danza. It's called The Garbage Picking Field Goal Kicking Philadelphia Phenomenon,
No.
where Tony Danza works as he's a garbage man, but he kicks the back of the truck, like this lever on the back of the truck. So while he ends up becoming the Eagles kicker. So that's, I guess they needed him.
Was that a movie or a show? What was it?
No, it was a movie. And if you haven't seen it, well, I mean, it depends. If you like bad cinema, I definitely recommend it. I mean, I thought it was bad. Like, I knew it was corny as a kid, but yeah. I can't remember. It's either, it's the garbage picking, field goal kicking Philadelphia Phenomenon, or is it field goal kicking, garbage picking? No, just look up Tony Danza Philadelphia Phenomenon. It'll come up. It's a baddie, but
yeah, I got it right here. I'm gonna pull it up. The garbage picking, field goal kicking Philadelphia Phenomenon.
look at Danza's picture. He looks so nervous. I can't even really remember. I mean, I'm sure it's. It looks like it's Disney or Disney adjacent type of made for TV movie. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't know. It's good. 45% Rotten Tomatoes, 5.1 IMDb score. Although I
I'm
heard that like
surprised. I'm surprised it's that high. That's a shock to me.
the Rotten Tomatoes score, usually when it's lower, it's actually a better movie. So maybe it's actually like it's really good. And I should check it out. Yeah, it does say Disney here, so
Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah, we love
that's
that.
funny.
Look at the old cassette box there too.
Oh, I love those. I love those.
Yeah.
I used to have so many of those. Patrick
As
says
do I.
just got back from a restaurant called the Black Lodge. Man, that's awesome. To watch this wonderful podcast. Thanks, Patrick. Rest in peace to the great David Lynch. Yeah, that sucked to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
David Lynch, one of the best filmmakers of all time. Season 3 of Twin Peaks still the best season of any TV show ever. Yeah, that was. I mean, that it's definitely up there. It's up there with season 1 of Lost, season 3 or 4 of Game of Thrones. Like it's definitely one of the best. Like episode 8 was just out of this world, and yeah, it was great. I was really hoping there'd be a season 4 of Twin Peaks. Now we know we're not going to get one, and if we do, it's not going to be with David Lynch, so it's not going to be the same. So it kind of sucks.
Have you ever seen? This is a really, it's kind of like an unknown movie, but that he did, Mulholland Drive. Have you seen that one?
Yes,
It's
that was the
an
one where
interesting one.
that was the one where the girl she goes to Hollywood or something, and then
Yeah. Naomi
that's
Watts.
Naomi was that was great. That was a phenomenal movie.
Yeah,
Classic
it's
David
not.
Lynch.
Yeah, it's not for everyone, but you know what part I love is the cowboy scene. Remember when he goes to meet him, and like the mafia's in on like who Justin Theroux's character is going to cast in that movie, and he meets that cowboy
Oh yeah,
out there. He's like, "How many drivers does a buggy have?" One. He's like, well, "Let's just say I'm driving that buggy. Maybe if you change your attitude, you can come along with me." I don't know. I always love that line. There's so many great lines in that one. Mulholland Drive, highly recommend.
Yeah, it's great. And it's like I think like most people don't even get like what the movie is all about.
I'm not even sure I do. I've seen it so many, and I've seen it a lot of times. So
yeah, it was like there's a lot of like small stuff in that movie that like if you connect the dots, you're like, oh wow, okay, that means that. And, like you can actually like do some digging and read all about like theories people have about that movie. It was really good. But I assume you've never seen Twin Peaks, right?
I'm aware of its prowess and it's it's the space it occupies in media, but I've never watched it myself though.
It's great. I mean, if you like Mulholland Drive, you'll like this. I mean, it's David
Okay.
Lynch.
Yeah.
The premise is, the high school like prom queen gets washed up ashore, and she's dead, and so, there's a string of deaths across the Pacific Northwest. So the FBI comes in, and it's Special Agent Dale Cooper, who's played by Colin McLaughlin. And he begins to investigate what's going on, and there's like a lot of weird things that's happening in this town, and then basically it's like who killed Laura Palmer? It's the big question.
I'll watch it tonight after the show. I love Kyle MacLachlan. For those if you've
great.
ever watched Portlandia, he's also in He plays the mayor. he's a really good character on that show too.
He was in Desperate Housewives. He's been in a lot of stuff.
And
season 1 Desperate Housewives is really good too.
Did you say season 1 of Desperate Housewives? Wait, hold on a second. Quacky, what's up, Cinder? Quacky here to throw Eagle shade. Says who, man? Come on now. I'm usually back in the Eagles, except when they played the Packers. I'm pro Eagle. Cinder, thanks for coming by.
Yeah.
Hey,
Dale Cooper, the only FBI agent I like. Yeah. There's one scene, and I like it's a quote, and you'll like it's not even a spoiler because it'll mean nothing to you, but Patrick will understand it. In season 3, when Colin McLaughlin goes, "I am the FBI." It's like the best scene. There's like there are videos of like reactions to it. That like to that quote. It's so good.
I might watch it tonight then.
Well, it's 3 seasons, so it's a while. Like the first season's not that long, second season's longer, and then season 3 is 18 episodes, so it's like a lot. It's a lot to get through. But it's so good, and I'd love to hear your theories on like who killed Laura Palmer. I actually I'm like proud that I solved it. I told my wife, I'm like, I think it's this because this, and she's like, oh, that makes sense, and then actually like was correct. So but then it keeps going, and then there's like other stuff to it. It's great. It's so good. And season 3 is just amazing. What's so cool about season 3? I think in the second episode, one character says to another character, they're like, "I'll see you in 25 years." And season 3 is 25 years after season 2. David Lynch planned the whole thing. He planned to have,
I think I did know that. Yeah.
He planned to have everyone come back who's still alive, 25 years later, to do his season 3 and just to finish the story. And like he planned it all ahead of time. Like he needed all the characters
That's so cool.
age 25 years, and like it's so good.
That's really awesome. You know, another movie that it's its 30th anniversary. In fact, they're doing a rescreening of it. It's my favorite movie of all time, Seven, with Morgan Freeman and Brad Pitt. And I actually got tickets. They're only doing a few showings, and I managed to get tickets. It wasn't that hard, but I mean, I got tickets. I'm going in like a week and a half. Nice. But that's, if you haven't seen Seven with Morgan Freeman and Brad Pitt, it's my favorite movie of all time.
It's a good one. It's a good one for sure. Yeah. Patrick listing Eraserhead, Mulholland Drive. I've not seen Eraserhead. I'll have to check that out. Fire Walk with Me is great too. Fire Walk. Oh, I said there are three seasons of Twin Peaks. There's actually 2 seasons and then a movie and then the 3rd season. The movie's a prequel, so you don't really need. I guess kind of have to watch it, but it's not like necessary. But the movie is really good. Fire Walk with Me is really good. Blue Velvet, I have not watched it yet. Wild at Heart, I have not either. So.
Have you seen that short movie on Netflix? It's called "What Did Jack Do?" where he does that interrogation with the monkey.
No,
it's different. It's different. It's like 22 minutes long.
Okay.
Yeah, check it out. Check it out. It's a little weird, but if you like his other stuff, you might enjoy that too. But
okay. All right. So before we get into the picks, any observations from last week? I know we were talking before the show about some stuff. You want to delve into that or some other stuff you wanted to talk about from last week?
Oh, geez. You know, it's basically canon at this point, and I know I expressed my feelings on Kansas City before, so this isn't exactly a hot take or something. But doesn't this dynasty feel different to you than other dynasties in our lifetime? Like we were talking about, like the Bulls, the Patriots, or like Golden State. Those are 3 that certainly come to mind right away. I guess the Lakers too. But you know, when a team wins too much, you want them to lose. I think that's, you know, as a whole, like people want the underdog to end up winning, which is happening now. But like I wanted those teams to lose it. Like the Patriots is a good example. You know, I always like I would have liked to see a different team win, but I didn't really like. I don't know. This just feels different. Something about the games, it just feels weird. It feels manufactured to me in a way. It's like you went to Italy and like you got pizza from Papa John's. Like it's good. Like it'll get the job done. But I don't know. I've lost my mind, Walt.
I don't think Papa John's good anymore, but that's beside the point.
You know, they never put. I hardly get it when I go out for chain pizza because like they hardly ever. Like you order extra like pepperoni and they put less than they would for a regular portion. I've had it, man.
Chain. I mean, you should never eat chain pizza. They put plastic in the dough, so like it's bad for you. If you should want to get some like local pizza joint. Like they're gonna have like fresh ingredients and stuff, and normally they will. Like not all the ones, but any pizza joint. Like if you look at their ingredients, it's horrible. Like Papa John's used to be legit when the Papa John used to run the company, but then they ousted him because of nonsense, and then they changed the ingredients, and now it's a lot worse than it used to be. That's the same thing happened with Pizza Hut. Pizza Hut used to actually like have good ingredients, and then I think it was like when they were bought by Yum Brands, I think it was like 2003 or something. That's when they changed the ingredients, and now there's like plastic in the dough. It's terrible.
Dude, remember Pizza Hut buffet? Like when you would sit in and like the what's it called? Like those red glass lamps, stained glass lamps, and man, that there's something about that. Did you ever have the Book It program at your Pizza Hut? We'll get into the game soon, everybody. Sorry.
I feel like we mentioned Pizza Hut for like the last five weeks. I really think
I haven't had Pizza Hut in a long time either.
Well, you're better off. But no, I think I was too old for the booking program. I knew of it. I just never had it. And the part of the problem was we didn't have a Pizza Hut close to us. Like the closest Pizza Hut to us is like 15, 20 minutes away. Like there's a local pizza joint near my parents' house called Station Pizza, and they used to have like $4 large pizzas. It was incredible pricing, and it was really good. And then, unfortunately, the ownership changed, and this guy came in. I feel like bad saying this because like he was in my grade school. Is actually in my class. Ever since he bought the place, it's gone way downhill. Like,
Oh,
I,
geez.
like I don't know if have you ever had like bad like really bad pizza? Like I feel like most of the time, like the worst pizza I've ever had is like, this is okay. I'll still eat it. Um, this
Walter,
pizza,
I don't think I've ever had a bad meal in my life.
dude, this pizza, I'm not joking. I ate like half a slice and I felt like I wanted to gag.
Really?
It made me sick. I couldn't eat it anymore.
Ugh.
It was that bad. And then I was like, maybe something was just off or something. So I had it again. I felt the same sensation. I was like, I'm never eating this from this place ever again. Like I don't know what this guy did to the recipe, but like, or if he's using like rotten ingredients, like I don't know.
Right.
Like
Oh, that's
seriously, it
horrible.
was it
That's
was, it was awful.
horrible.
It was awful. Like I've never had that with pizza before. So even
Wow.
even the chain
Yeah.
stuff, you know. So
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, that's horrible. Yeah, I've never had. I don't know. Like I've had bad service before, but I've never like. I've never really had like a bad meal. Like it's like all right, it's fine. Like I'm not going to complain. Like it didn't taste that good. It's like I've never had like a bad burger or something. You know, like some people are like, oh, like you're going to this city, try this place. Like they have great burgers. It's like every burger I eat is the new like best burger I've ever had.
no, really.
No,
Um,
no, not to that extent, but you know what I mean. It's like
yeah,
I'll be satisfied one way or the other. I don't know.
yeah. Um, my we once ordered from Panera Bread. This right around the corner from us, and my wife found a dead fly in her salad. There's Caesar salad, and it made her like throw up, and she had like vomiting issues for like the next 2-3 weeks. And no,
Oh
she's not
my
pregnant.
god.
No, it was like psychological at that point with her.
Oh
And, like,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, so like every time she saw food, she thought of that fly. And I'm
Ooh.
thinking like this is like a delicacy in some countries. They'd be like, "Oh, dead fly." Like,
What
put some A1
countries? What countries do you know for a fact? I mean, I'm not doubting you, but can you name them off the top of your head? The
on.
fly? Yeah, down at the swamp, maybe.
Here. I'm not making this up. Let's here. 1 second.
Uh,
What countries that eat insects? Mexico, Thailand, China, America, apparently, Ghana, Australia, Brazil, Japan, and Netherlands. There you go.
yeah, but
7 countries that eat bugs for food. That's Mexico, Brazil,
I don't
Thailand,
know.
China,
I
and the
don't know.
Netherlands.
What's this source? Yeah, and Terminix is or wait, this is a Terminix website? Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
Terminix.
know. What are
Terminix
their
seems legit.
sources?
What up? Travel.com. I mean,
countries
yeah.
countries that eat bugs.com.
No, U.S. is
.gov.
legit. U.S. actually applies here because I know that some restaurants were like taking cicadas and like frying them and eating them,
Oh.
and then they got in trouble for it. They're like, the government is like, you can't just take cicadas out of the ground and like eat and serve them.
They got in trouble for it.
Yeah, they did. That was like a true story. But no,
So,
there are countries that eat bugs, so
yeah,
it's not.
I don't want to eat any bugs. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I don't either, but
You
that's what they are pushing you toward. They say you
yeah.
own nothing and you will eat the bugs. That's what they say. John says you should try Applebee's Big Cluckin' Chicken Sandwich, only $8.99 with fries, better than Popeye's Chick-fil-A.
Oh.
I would, yeah, I'm not opposed to it. I saw it in the commercial; it actually looked pretty good. So,
Yeah, like I mean, at least
Lisa 5 minutes into this article about countries eating bugs.
dude, you know what's funny? Because I was, for those of you that didn't know, and I love it. I'm not complaining. I got trolled hard in the comments, and I over last show. But like, I think if you're still showing up like for the episodes like that I'm on. It's so different from the other like guests that you have. Like you know what you're getting for the most part here. So like I appreciate I truly do appreciate y'all being here. I have a great time hanging out with y'all. So the banter knows no boundaries. So
Yeah.
anyhow, what were we talking about? What bugs are you trying to eat? Some people eat spiders and that. Ugh.
Well, I don't know. Like I said, there are countries that eat bugs. I don't know which bugs, but a fly in the salad is not going to bother someone from Thailand, apparently, according to Terminex.com.
Yeah, they maybe they eat bugs there, but do they consider it a delicacy? I mean, come on. I feel like delicacy is like that's a pretty high like honor as far as food goes. Like you've got like regular, it's like, oh, you consider it a delicacy, like a bug, like okay, like maybe it's on the menu, but a delicacy? I mean, I guess I'm sure somewhere, but
well,
oh yeah, no, shout out to Swagger Matters. That guy's cool, man. I appreciate you watching the show, Swagger.
I will once again win here. Many countries consider bugs to be a delicacy, including those in Asia, Africa, Latin America, and Oceania.
Oh, Oceania, yeah.
There you go.
Well, let's move there and eat some bugs then. Okay, fine. You win the bug battle.
Yep.
Maybe we should get into the games here before they're going to be pelting vegetables at me again.
Well, we were talking. The reason why we were talking about Pizza Hut and then we transitioned to other restaurants and then bugs is because you said that the Chiefs are like going to Italy and getting Papa John's because it seems manufactured or something. I get that sense with the whole Taylor Swift Travis Kelce thing. Like to me that relationship has always seemed fake. I've never bought into it because generally you hear like celebrity dating stuff and like they like the agents pair two celebrities together and like they probably don't even date like at all. They're like, oh, like so and so and this person's in a couple, like they're now a couple. I think they do it just to promote themselves. And so I don't know if like Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are actually a couple. Like maybe I don't know, maybe they are, but it's I don't know. That always seemed manufactured to me. And like coincided with like Travis Kelce's COVID shot at commercials and stuff like that, and Taylor Swift tour. Like it felt like fake to me. But as far as the Chiefs winning though, I don't know. Maybe like does it have to do with what you're saying? Like does it have to do with like them getting all the calls or something?
Well, yeah, of course that has something to do with it. It's all these all these different things. It was the only game this past. I watched every other game start to finish. After the third quarter of that game, I had to shut it off. I just couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't take it anymore. I shut it off, and I don't know why. Like I can't really describe, but it's. I've never had less fun watching football than like the Chiefs this year. And I don't know, like it's just I'm just saying what I think. I don't know if I'm really trying to make a point. Does anybody? Yeah, but I mean, I like I said, this sentiment is essentially canon now. But I mean, this feels different from other dynasties. Like, yeah, like I mentioned, the Patriots. Like I did enjoy watching them, though. At some point, yeah, like I'm ready for a new team to win, but. I don't know. There's just something about it. It's annoying. I'm going to be upset if they win the Super Bowl because they're not the best team. And yeah, I know. Of course, any given Sunday, right? And they're still a really good team. I'm not saying like I'm not, but come on, like you. Well, I guess I'm stepping into this, out of order here. But like the Bills are the better team. Like we all know that. We all know that. So here's what I'm going to say. Like if you're like me and so many other NFL fans, and you don't like the Chiefs, just bet the Chiefs money line. And then you're going to be happy either way. You're either going to win some money or you're going to be, happy that they lost. That's my advice. Because anything could happen, and we all know that the Bills are the better team. I can't. I mean, I can see an argument the other way, but you never know what's going to happen. You never know what they're going to like. Oh, like two of their touchdowns against the Texans were off like nonsense calls, and Joe and Troy are on there like calling them out, and their like in-house referee is like, yeah, that was a bad call, and we all and like we all like are seeing it. So like anything can happen. So if you're like me, take the Chiefs money line. That way, no matter what happens, you'll get some sort of happiness out of it. Walt, how do you feel? I
don't feel that like I don't. It's not like I like the Chiefs. I I don't dislike them either. I don't feel that way about that. Like the only thing that bothers me again is the Travis Kelce Taylor Swift thing, just because it's kind of annoying, but at the same time, like I just whatever. I called Taylor Swift meatloaf the other day. I don't know if you were on the show with me. I forget who was on the show with me. I compared her to meatloaf, not the singer, the food. Like you go to a restaurant, like you never order meatloaf, right? Like hey, I'll have your finest meatloaf. Like no one ever does that. But if you get served meatloaf for dinner, you're like, oh, this is not bad. That's how I feel about Taylor Swift's music. It's like her music's like okay, but I'll never like go out of my way to listen to it. And so like I feel the same way about her. Like she's just okay, it's like mildly attractive, whatever, but like she's not like amazing or anything. She's not. I don't think she's a great singer. I think she's just okay. She's just like she's like slightly above average in all facets, I think. But I don't even get like the hype with her. But it's not like I don't dislike her either. And I think that's like that is like the only thing, because like I said, that seems fake to me. But as far as the team's concerned, I mean, I want to see greatness. Like I want to see teams win. I want to see a team win a three-peat for the first time. Like I think that'd be a cool thing to experience. And like when my son grows up, or my whenever I have grandkids, I can tell them like, hey, I saw the three-peat. They're like, oh, what was that team like? And I can tell them, because you got to see history. And so if the Chiefs win, I'm not going to be upset about it. I'm going to be upset on I didn't win my Eagles bet, but at the same time, like I'm not going to be like devastated because they won again.
Your kids are going to ask you, what was the three-peat like? And you're going to play Teardrops on My Guitar.
I'm gonna play a clip of the show,
and I'll be there with you talking about the Battle of the Horses.
Right. Well,
dude.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you know what? Now after hearing that, I hope they win it all, huh? So I could just so I could see that. I'll just be straight up with y'all. I'm gonna be really upset if they win the Super Bowl again. That's gonna suck, and obviously they're the favorites. Could very easily happen. I don't know. I really hope it doesn't happen. End rant. That's all I got.
Okay.
So how do you feel about the game?
Well, we'll get into that's the second game. We'll get into it in a second.
Oh, sorry. I'm not gonna. Well, if we get to it second, I'm not gonna have anything else to add. That was basically my argument.
All right. Well, what do you think about what Patrick says? Difference is the Patriots had Brady, who just had this unreal dedication. So much dedication his wife left him because he loved football so much. I gotta respect how much he loved the game / diet. Yeah, I mean that was. I never hated Brady for that reason either. Like he always seemed to love to win and was willing to do anything to win. And yeah, I mean, yeah. So like I never hated Brady. I don't hate Mahomes either. Like this guy, first of all, like this is a personal thing. Like he was super nice to me and Charlie when we met him like before the draft. And like you never hear anything bad about him. Like yeah, I mean there's like his brother is kind of a goofball. But like he and his like wife and his parents, like they're all like super nice people, for what I gather. And like, I've like met some, I met his, I talked to his mom for a little bit. And like, she was like super nice to me too. So, I don't know, maybe that just makes me like him more than normally, but like this guy is just like, this guy loves football. He loves to win too. And he's super talented, and it's just like seeing him succeed is just a good thing, I think.
Yeah, and just to set the record straight, I don't like these are all like Patrick Mahomes, Kelce. As much as I think he's obnoxious, Andy Reid, Steve Spagnuolo, like these are like Hall of Famers. Like I don't like I have respect for them and for what they've achieved, but there's just something about it that just feels different, and it just rubs me the wrong way. And I mean, like so many others. And it feels different than any of these other winners. So like I have nothing against the players themselves. It's just the idea of them, Mm-hmm. For me, I just don't I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens. Well, should we cover that game first? It's your show.
Yeah, it is my show. I'll go wherever we want.
Oh, so I'm trying to overthrow the Walter Football
How
After
dare you?
Dark show.
How dare you?
Yeah, I've hijacked it.
Before we get to the games, I want to ask you this: is there any other team you could think of off the top of your head? And I guess I'm putting you in your spot, but like, and if you don't know, just say you don't know. Is there any other team in the NFL that, if they had this sort of success, you would feel as strongly about them, like in a negative light? Like, can you think of like one team that would be like this irritable to you? Maybe you can think about it.
I guess the 49ers.
49ers, really?
Yeah, I wouldn't like that either.
Why?
Or
Why
even my my feelings about the 49ers are well documented on the show. I don't know. I just can't. I just don't like them either. I mean, but also because they've owned Green Bay in recent years too. So that's all part of it.
Everyone's saying
So
Dallas.
I have bias Dallas.
Multiple people are saying Dallas. I can see that.
Yeah. But I don't know. And I've really liked the Chiefs until like maybe like mid last year where I don't know. It just seems everything. Yeah, the Seahawks too. Though I think that would be bad too. But I guess those are all just based on my own team losing to them. So
yeah, I mean, Pete Carroll's not with Seattle anymore. I feel like part of the annoying thing would be like Pete Carroll running up and down the sideline, like
chewing his gum.
I think that would bother you a lot. I think you'd be
Yeah.
ranting about that like quite a bit on the show if they won so much stuff. But yeah, I don't think you need to worry about him winning with the Raiders anytime soon, though.
You know what I thought? I think I brought this up before. Of course, who could forget the Malcolm Butler interception at the one? But like, I always had this vision in my mind of Pete. Like, let's say that had worked, because it could have easily have worked. That little 1 yard is going to Ricardo Lockett, and everyone would have said what a genius he was, because everyone in the world knew he was going to hand to Marshawn Lynch, and he didn't, and it worked. Like, what a genius to gamble on like the biggest moment, and he would have been on that, on the press conference, that smug little look. Why didn't like Dentine or something like pick him up and do an ad? Did they? Dude, he's always freaking chewing gum, man. And he would have looked so smug. And I don't dislike Pete Carroll, but we'd be like, oh yeah, like they would have hailed him as a genius. That's I think. That's what's crazy about that. And do you think maybe that motivated his decision? Because if it works, that is smart, don't you think?
It's so hard to think that, like, in the moment, like, it's a split-second decision. It's not like he had hours or days to think about it. It was just like 30 seconds to call a play. I don't think like in 30 seconds he's like, you know what? Like, if I do this, I'm gonna be super. Like, everyone's gonna love me. I don't know. I think he was just trying to win the game, and I think he just overthought things because he's like, everyone thinks they're gonna run the ball. Let's just throw. He's trying to be contrarian, and I get it. I personally said that I would have rolled Wilson out, and like, if there's nothing there, throw the ball away, try again, and if something's there, try to throw a pass. Because it seemed like so obvious that Lynch would run. And then I was reminded about the timeout situation. Like, the Patriots had one timeout, so they should have ran with Lynch, because even if they didn't get it, they would have forced the Patriots to call timeout. So that would have made winning, had Seattle scored, like a lot more difficult. So it was really foolish not to run there for that reason.
And keep in mind too, even if they did score there's 35 seconds left, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I think New England had at least one timeout.
Yeah, one. Yeah.
And they would have. Yeah, okay, they had one, and they would have only been down by 3. Like 35 seconds and one timeout to get into field goal range. Like, that's not, it's not out of the question. Certainly, So
we saw the Chiefs doing 13 seconds. Sorry, John.
But not this year. Not going to happen this year.
Yeah. I mean, look, they made a mistake, and that would have been the second consecutive Super Bowl, and like, who knows what would have happened after that. That team just went downhill after that, and I think that was a big reason for it. Just like it felt like that was the catalyst for them splitting apart.
Do you think they have bad dreams about that? Like, Russell Wilson has like nightmares, or Ricardo Lockett has, or maybe has dreams where like he did catch the ball and he did score the game-winning touchdown, and that would be really horrible. I hope that's not the case.
I'm sure. Like, look, I
or
mean,
like even reliving it, like as the way it did happen.
I think what helps is that they won the Super Bowl the year before.
Right.
So it's not like they haven't won one. I think if they hadn't, then that would be way more painful.
Yeah.
Um,
Agreed.
yeah, but I imagine it's still like, still like there are moments in like in my past where like I could have done something much differently, like financially, like, oh man, if I did this I'd be so much better off right now, and I don't know if I have nightmares about it, but I had some weird dreams lately, but I have to tell you this in a second, but I no, I always think about, like, it just pops into my head randomly. I'm like, man, like, how did I screw it up that badly? That seems so obvious in hindsight. But yeah, I
Right.
mean, look, everyone has regrets like that, so it's not like I've
True.
played professionally or anything.
Yeah, but to be fair, like those types of decisions, like they're not in the public eye, like a big
Yeah,
thing in a playoff game. So
sure.
I think it's like more like that. Like that's I mean, you can think of a thousand like bad plays that happen that people get remembered for. But anyhow, I don't know. If we should move on. We've been going a while without
Yeah,
getting into games.
yeah. Let's get to the games. While I find the screen, this dream I had a dream last night. That I was 2 nights ago. I was a sandwich critic along with two of my friends. Like I was I was like reviewing sandwiches, and like one of my partners, actually Body Burner, has been on the show. He was one of the sandwich critics with me. He's like, try this sandwich, Walt. It was just lettuce. Like, that was all it was. Like, and the girl who was the sandwich critic is like, this is beloved in 4 states. This is like, she listed like the story in like Kansas, and the Body Burner is like, Walt, this is really a sandwich. I'm like, this is just lettuce. I don't know why I had that sandwich, but I had that dream.
Well, I mean, did you have that dream after you had that terrible pizza, or?
Oh no, I would have had much worse dreams after that. But
Yeah.
anyway, let's get to the games here.
Yeah.
So we have Redskins at Eagles, NFC Championship, 3 o'clock. The line opened up Eagles -4.5. It's up to 6. We locked this in at 6. I thought we might see 6.5. I think we could still see 6.5 by kickoff. Depends if the sharps come in on the Eagles at 6, because the sharps came in on the Eagles at 4.5, 5, and 5.5. Not so much at 6 yet, but it could still happen. The public is all over the Redskins. And something I wanted to bring up to you is that I don't know if you saw my quote tweet that I had today. It was like this morning. It was like ESPN, like so like 4 ESPN panelists, 3 picked the Redskins to win, or the Commanders. 3 picked the Washington to win. And I'm like, this is really good for the Eagles, because I feel like anytime you see those like pregame shows or ESPN shows where like everyone is picking like an underdog except for like one team, like except for one person, the underdog always loses. Like usually like a public dog like this, like just generally has just bad success or lack of success when that happens. So I was very encouraged to see that. I still love the Eagles. Jalen Hurts practiced fully on Thursday and Friday. That was a big factor that I was looking at, and so while like he could still not be 100% or 90%, like there's a chance, like, because teams have played games with the injury report before. Like I'll bring up Joe Burrow last year. Remember, the Bengals listed him as full in practice all week, and then like he could barely move during the game. Like that really pissed me off. So there's still a chance that like Hurts is like 50% or something. And if that does occur, then like we might have trouble winning this bet. That's my only concern with this. But if Hurts is like 80+ % or better, like I think the Eagles are very likely to cover. I think this is a pretty simple handicap. People just saw the Redskins play their A+ game against the Lions playing their D- game. I think if you were to play Redskins Lions like 10 times, I think the Lions win 6 or 7 times out of 10. We just saw like a huge outlier. And suddenly, like, people think the Redskins could do that again. And I don't think they can. Like, the first game against the Eagles, they were blown out. They were losing by 2 touchdowns. And so, like, the last minute, there was a garbage touchdown. In the second game, the Eagles are up 21-0. And then Jalen Hurts gets injured. Devontae Smith drops a pass to win the game. The Redskins come back and win, which is good for them. But still, the Eagles, they didn't have the quarterback. So when they had the quarterback, they've been dominating this team all year. The Redskins lost Sam Cosmi, their best lineman. He plays in the interior, and guess who plays in the interior for the Eagles? Jalen Carter. So it just feels like the Eagles have a great advantage in the interior of the offensive line, or in the interior of the lines there. And I think this line's short too. I think this should be at least 7. That's what the closing line was last week, the Eagles Rams. And despite your crown at the beginning, I think the Eagles are the right side because not only the 2 missed extra points, they took that, like Hurts took that safety when he had a guy wide open. They had a play called back by Dallas Goedert that would have taken down the 2. AJ Brown dropped the ball at the 1. Like, there's so many opportunities for the Eagles to win, and the Rams got a backdoor touchdown at the end too. So my point is, like, the Eagles -7 was the right side last week, and so this is only 6. Whereas, like, I think the Rams are maybe slightly better than the Redskins, or at least even. So why is this only 6? Like, it should be 7. So with all that said, I love the Eagles here. Again, my only concern is Hurts. So we'll see what happens. Maybe live betting is better because, like, if you see Hurts running around, like if you see Hurts running on the first drive, like for like a 15-yard gain, like I would bet the Eagles like instantly. So I love the Eagles here. What are your thoughts about this game?
Yeah, Walt, who was the last rookie quarterback to make it to a conference championship game?
Was it Mark Sanchez?
I think so.
Okay.
2009.
Yeah.
Well, 2009 and 2010. Remember, they went back-to-back years and lost to the Colts and the Steelers, respectively, in back-to-back years. Yeah, I like the Eagles here too. I got to hand it to the Washington football team. This has been a really fun run, and obviously the future is very bright for them. But I think this is also I don't really ever like to take publicly backed dogs, which is exactly what the Washington football team is here. And despite like they had a lot of big plays in that game against the Lions, and because the Lions were such a juggernaut all year, obviously, I feel like that has really caused them to be overvalued here because they had a lot of a lot of very electric plays, if you will. But really, the only area in which I could say that Washington is maybe better right now is quarterback, and with Hurts being a bit of a question mark. So they still gave up a lot of points to the Lions. I mean, yeah, the Lions obviously had a great offense, but but on the other hand, like the Eagles haven't looked terribly impressive so far either to me. Yes, they've had some great plays, and Saquon Barkley looks incredible. But outside, I don't know, like Hurts hasn't been that good. Yes, he's been injured, so that is a bit of a question mark for me too. But I still like the Eagles a good bit. That's really the only thing I can kind of come up with against them. But I like the Eagles a good bit. If it weren't, if I was still betting, I would put 2 to 3 units on the Eagles. But the battle of the horses situation. So
you really sound like an old timer, on his porch, but like, man, things haven't been the same since Battle of the Horses.
Yeah,
like straw in your mouth.
Yeah, you tell the grandkids about the Colts or the Colts, the Chiefs 3-peat, and I'll tell them about the Battle of the Horses. So
I have to ask you this: if the Super Bowl is Chiefs Redskins and we get Battle of the Indigenous Peoples, are you going to be back on the wagon betting?
I don't know. I wanted what was I can't remember the game I wanted. Oh, the Battle of the Beasts, Lions and Bills.
Oh, those aren't beasts.
Well, what are they? Aren't they they're like buffaloes?
No, that's the city.
I know. But I think it's one of those...
Buffalo Bill Cody.
And then they have the Buffalo Sabres. It's all Buffalo, themed.
Yeah, I think Bills 49ers will be frontiersmen. Like the Battle of the Frontiersmen.
I hope we get that one day. Well, let's get right in. Oh, did you have anything? Oh, you probably have some props in that. I got one. I got one real quick. Sorry, because Kenneth Gainwell, anytime touchdown.
Oh, what is that?
That's what I say, because it's especially after they've had a couple good games in the big games. I don't know, it just seems like, remember Jawan Jennings in the Super Bowl last year, or even Hardman. I don't know. I just feel like sometimes in these big games, something like that will happen where, they kind of, you don't expect the backup running back to get one. Let's see what do we got here for Gainwell.
I'm just looking at this parlay. I'm kind of curious why I didn't bet it. Let's look at this parlay in a second.
Okay.
Touchdown scoring props. We have Gainwell at. Do we have Gainwell? Yeah. What is he? Is the first touchdown's 50-1. Anytime touchdowns plus 950.
I think that's a decent. I think that's decent value. I like
Really?
that. Yeah, plus 950.
Okay.
Give it a shot. Take first, last at any time. No, but and also I'm not endorsing that, but anytime touch, I think that's pretty good value.
Yeah,
because everyone in the world's expecting Saquon to go off, and he very well might.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I don't know.
true.
Like I think they might have like something like unexpected up their sleeve too. That would be wise of them. I don't know. We'll see. I like the value.
As for the props I have for this game personally, I have let's see, where is it? I have Austin Eckler over 24.5 receiving yards. He's in the playoffs so far. He's gotten 26 and 41. We know the Redskins are not going to be able to run the ball on the Eagles. The Eagles have the number one run defense in the NFL, so they might use Eckler as a receiver out of the backfield as their quote unquote running game. Also, if they're behind, I think Eckler could catch some dump off passes, which we saw the first game. I think the first game he had like 8 catches for 89 receiving yards against the Eagles. So I like him a lot in DraftKings this week, by the way. He didn't play the second game, so we only have like a 1-game sample size of him against the Eagles, but it just makes sense that he would be a big part of the passing game. As far as my seeing being parlay, I have Eckler again over 24.5 receiving yards. I have Saquon Barkley over 125.5 rushing yards. So that's the highest rushing prop in playoff history, but I think it's well deserved. The Redskins are 20th against the run, so good luck. He said Kenneth Gainwell over 8.5 rushing yards. He had 10 last week. Again, Redskins bad against the run. I think he'll get a few carries, and I think he'll get there. And then Terry McLaurin over 64.5 receiving yards. I think that he could get there in garbage time. So what do you think about these props?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't put much thought into them until just now, but I definitely like the Gainwell over as well. McLaurin, I mean, I wouldn't touch that one because I don't know. I don't do too many props, but I don't know. I think they're going to give Gainwell like maybe a couple more touches there. So I think that's good value. But anyhow,
what do you think about Barkley 125.5?
125.5. I don't know. I really have no opinion on that. I mean, I'm inclined to take the over just based on what he's done, but yeah, I have no opinion there.
Okay, I wanted to bring this up because this is a $50 to win $2,500. So
okay, let's see this.
All right, Jaden Daniels over 40 plus rushing yards. Saquon Barkley 70 plus rushing yards, so like almost half of what the regular number is. Jalen Hurts 25 plus rushing yards, which is like very risky given the injury. Yeah. But if he's healthy, he'll get there. Saquon Barkley anytime touchdown. Travis Kelce 50 plus receiving yards. Patrick Mahomes 25 plus rushing yards. Josh Allen 40 plus rushing yards. Dalton Kincaid 25 plus receiving yards. Patrick Mahomes 175 plus passing yards. Josh Allen 175 plus passing yards. These are well below the average that they have there. And where are we? And James Cook anytime touchdown.
What's that? 50-1? I mean,
these are all like minus 400, minus 500, except for the anytime touchdowns. I don't expect this to hit, but I think that 50-1 seems reasonable for something like this.
I think it does too. I mean, Hurts is the touchdown scores. I mean, you have to feel pretty good about those. I mean, Barkley and Cook, I'm imagine they've got to be the favorites to score for their respective teams. I would imagine. Yeah. I think it's worth it. Are you going to put 50 on it?
Yeah.
Oh man, I'll
go higher.
No, send me a screenshot of that I'll be rooting for you tomorrow, so I'll
Should
know
we
what
put
to
500 on it, 25,000.
Dude, that would be awesome.
That'd be incredible. Yeah, that'll pay off a lot.
What have you ever? What was the biggest parlay you ever hit?
I don't know. Can't
Didn't
remember off
you
the top of my head.
Didn't you years ago tell me you hit like a 6 or 7? Like I think you.
I hit a 9. I hit a 9 game team parlay in 2002 or 2000. I think it's 2002.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was like the infancy of the website. And it wasn't like I didn't even mention it on the website because I did it through my friend. It was like a $10 thing, and yeah, it paid out pretty well. I don't know how much. I forgot how much it paid out, but it was like in the thousands. So that was
Wow,
that was great.
Yeah, see, I never really got like too into parlays. Like maybe like I do like 2 or 3, but just for fun. But I think it's really interesting. Like you see like these ads. Like I get ads for the Hard Rock app all the time, and they really push like these, so parlays with so many legs, like 7 or more,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like look how much you can win. It's like yeah, but to people that have never bet before, like you can get reeled into that quick, like especially if you hit one like a 3 or 4 teamer, and then you're like, oh yeah, like a 7 legger will be really easy to hit. Those are so incredibly hard to hit, and I just feel like they really sell it as like it's not that hard to do. I mean, they're doing their job, like they're advertising, but it's the same game parlays, especially they really push those. It's kind of interesting, but I don't know. Parlays are probably what I've done the least. I hardly ever do them.
Yeah, they're sucker bets, unless you could do it smartly. We've hit a bunch of same game parlays this year.
Yeah.
I think we're a little up on them. If I were to guess, I didn't kept track, but I don't like the pre-constructed parlays that sportsbooks offer.
Yeah,
Like, this seems like why are they offering it to you? It seems like so shady. It's like
yeah, exactly.
And you always see like 2,000 people have bet this like on some sports.
Yeah. It's
like
just
no man, that's like, is the sportsbook going to lose that much money? Like
like that. That's how they get it, because it's like, oh look, you want to be like with the popular, with what's popular, right? Do this,
right.
like they're getting people that way. It's wild, man. It's wild. You know what? I hardly a couple years ago when I first started like my social media ventures, I went on this podcast. It was called Parlay Friday, and I never bet parlays. And I went on there, and like on the show, they were like, just like be prepared with a 3-team parlay. And the one that I gave actually hit. I couldn't believe it. I hardly ever do that. So it just goes to show you. That's why I wore the crown, Quacky knows best, man. Even though I don't have the reasoning, like there's something. I've got one of those neurodivergent brains or something. I don't know. Let's move on. What do we got?
Patrick asking, Walt, any cheaper stocks we're selling covered calls on? Clove has been doing awesome recently. Still some interest in Indy, with Soros owning tons of shares. Yeah, I mean, depends what you mean is like cheaper stocks. Like, I mean, GameStop I think is the best to do it on. I think Palantir is pretty good too. Just because like there's a lot of interest there, and like a lot of people buy calls. Like there's a lot of degenerates buying calls, and so you can sell covered calls and like make a lot of money on it. You could double your money each year, like, or at least, which is pretty crazy. Because like if I were to tell you like what happens if you take $100 and you double it each year, like how much do you think you would make? Like if
a lot.
you want to take a guess?
We did this last time, and I know it's a lot, because it reminds me of the penny every day for a month, but doubled every day.
Yeah.
And you end up, they say like, would you want that or like $200,000 or something? The penny always ends up being more. So yeah, I'm with it. I'm with the concept.
Yeah. If you took $100 and doubled it each year, after 20 years, you'd have $104 million. It's insane amount of money.
Wow.
And this is the amount of money you can make with covered calls if you find the right stock. I would find a stock that's a company that's profitable, which GameStop is, Palantir is as well. I've seen like a lot of people sell covered calls in MicroStrategy, which is very expensive right now. But like the premiums are like through the roof. It's insane. the problem is like they may owe a lot of money on taxes, so like the stock plummeted. As far as cheaper ones, Clove is pretty good. It's like what, like 460 or 480 a share right now. So it's pretty reasonable. You only need $480 to sell a covered call on that. BlackBerry, I think, is pretty decent too. They've had some good things happen with them. Indy's good. SoFi has been doing well recently. I think their earnings are coming up though, or they may have happened already. Their earnings were either this past week or this week. I'm not sure. But I was looking at their premiums and like they're pretty good. But like as far as like stocks like $5 or less, I think Clove's probably your best bet right now. No, like Chelsea Clinton has like a crap ton of shares at like $2. So she's gonna make money off of that. Like all the politicians and their kids do. So I refuse to sell my AMC stocks. Oh man, it's pretty rough. I sold. I think my wife has a sum in her account. I think she has like 100 shares in her account. That's it. Like I used to have a ton of shares of AMC, and I took a slight loss on it. I could have made so much money if I sold when the board of directors sold. They sold at like 30 or 40. I could have made a lot of money on that, but I held, and that's one of the financial situations I was talking about before.
No.
I could have made like 600 grand had I sold when the board of directors sold, and I took like a loss of like 20 grand or 10 grand probably in summary. Because I held too long. I did make some money off of short interest. I forget what it's called, but some brokerages give you interest on lending your shares, and so I was making interest on it while the stock was like plummeting. Had I known about cover calls at the time, I actually would have probably been in the black. But I did take a slight loss on that, which sucks. Because like I think a slight loss and that's okay in a vacuum, but like not when you could have made 600 grand. Just it's just.
Well, I didn't mean to dig up old bones here.
Look, I mean, you have to learn from your mistakes. It's okay. Patrick's saying, yeah, Adam Aaron, he had this tweet. He's like blaming bots. He's like Elon Musk. There's so many bots here saying derogatory things about me. And I replied to him like, no, those are investors that you screwed over, not bots. He's awful. Like he dilutes at the bottom. The ape thing was a disaster. And like he sold people, investors on the reverse split. That's when I sold. As soon as the reverse split was announced, I was like, no way am I holding this. Because like every company that reverse splits, like that stock plummets because it's so easy to short. It crashed. Like when I first told you about AMC, I believe it was like $3 a share or something. And now it's also $3 a share, but that's after a 1-for-10 reverse split. So it's really like 34 cents. Can you imagine just holding that the whole time? It's just like it's awful, and they're not profitable. So they have to keep they're burning through cash, and the stock's going to keep plummeting. Like they're going to have to dilute again because that's the only way they make money, and they're going to keep diluting until they get to $1. And once you go below $1, you have 6 months to get out of it. And if you don't, you have to reverse split again. And so he's going to reverse split at some point. I don't think it's going to be like within 6 to 12 months, but eventually he's going to reverse split again, and people who are holding are just going to get screwed. It's just awful.
Well, if AMC is doing any screenings of 7, just hold on to it for now, just a little bit longer, because it's really going to go to the moon then.
Right. Did AMC and Amazon did a reverse split? So if I don't hold on, I want to see if they did was it a regular split or a reverse split? Amazon has never had a reverse stock. I'm gonna put this up here. Let's see. Amazon has never had a reverse stock split, but has split its stock 4 times. Yeah, John, I'm talking about like regular splits are amazing for a stock because if you're selling covered calls, like suddenly you get the X multiplier of what that is. Like that you're gonna make, like if you sell covered calls in a stock and a reverse split and it splits, not reverse splits, but splits, you're going to make a lot of money on that, like an insane amount of money. But reverse split is bad. Like you lose your shares, which is terrible. I mean, GameStop did a regular split. GameStop did a 4-for-1 split, which is good. because like GameStop right now is $27, but pre-split it would be $108 right now, which is like way above what I bought originally. Like I recommended the stock at $5, so good stocks don't reverse split. Yeah, because they don't have to. Like the only reason a stock needs to reverse split is to avoid being under $1, because the New York Stock Exchange and the other the other ones, they have rules saying that if a stock is under $1 for 6 months, they have to get over $1 to avoid being delisted. And so the only way to do that, outside of like having amazing news and just propelling high like upward, is to reverse split. And that's what AMC did. They reverse split at like when the stock went down to like $1.50, so they went up to 15, but then the stock crashed and it's now down to 340, which is really 34 cents. It's awful. And the stock plummets usually. Stocks plummet usually because they dilute. If you keep issuing more shares into the market, like that, each share is going to lose value. Like that's why a stock will decline in price. So it's so the point is, like, don't buy AMC. That is financial advice. Do not buy AMC.
Oh, wow.
I'm not saying to short it. That would be financial advice.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying to do that, but I have shorted AMC for good profits occasionally. But do not buy AMC until they remove their CEO. And if they get someone else in, I would love to run AMC. I think I could turn that company around in 2 to 3 years. I think, like,
holy cow!
I think I could.
This guy can do it all.
I think it seems easy. Like, just get rid of like all the do what GameStop did. Like GameStop was in 2020, GameStop was $1 billion in debt. They had no cash, and it was being shorted like AMC is now. Just because like they had no hope. And Ryan Cohen came in, and he had this formula. It's like, get rid of all the bad locations. And he had a bunch of stuff that he did. And so just do what he did. Like, and like, it's crazy that Adam Aaron, the CEO, he's made more money in the past, I think, 6 or 7 years than AMC has made in total. So like, why he gets paid so much money? Like, you can slash his salary, you can slash the salaries of all the board members. You can sell the corporate jet. You can sell like every like nonsense. Just like do what Elon Musk is doing with like the Doge thing in the government. Just like makes everything more efficient. And you can get out of this. Like, it's easy to get out of that. Like, Adam Aaron's an idiot. Like, he invested in a mining company that doesn't mine. Like, it's so stupid. Like, if he invested in Bitcoin instead, like, AMC would be doing great right now. He's an idiot. Anyway.
What else we got? Sorry, I don't want you to get riled up now.
Chiefs versus Eagles. Yeah. Is this the most boring conference championship? No, I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
Yeah. But can you imagine if BBIG wasn't run by a criminal and Lomotive collab was promoted more than TikTok is banned? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. BBIG is the company I lost the most on. That was brutal. Yeah. The whole thing was fraud. Like, their evaluation was fraudulent, and the CEO of BBIG is in prison right now. I'm laughing. I lost so much money on BBIG since I don't even want to say how much I lost. It's insane.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let's keep the positive vibes.
Yeah. Let's make it back. Let's make back my BBIG losses.
Yeah.
It's not possible, but
let's get into the Billies. Oh, I hope it's Phillies and Billies this year in the Super Bowl.
Will that get you to
bet? Yeah. Phillies and Billies. That would be a great matchup. Yeah. So what? Well, yeah. I want to hear your thoughts on this one here.
Do you think Pat Millen ever invested a reverse split of his anus? That's A plus, Chris. Good job. We need the stock show in the offseason. Yeah, let's do it. One of these Saturdays, I'll go through cover call stuff again and cash secured puts. I didn't talk about cash secured puts the first time we did this. I talked about covered calls. I feel like I've learned a lot more since that show. I've like it's crazy how much you can make on cover calls. Like I'll go through it on a show on Saturday with Tom, or if you Tom, if you don't want to be the show, I'll do a Saturday show at some point about stocks and cover calls because it's really crazy. It's free money in the stock market that they just give you, and like most people don't even know what it is. Like I've talked to like people who invested in the stock market for like decades. I'm like, yeah, I'm doing great. These cover calls. They're like, what's that? Like really? You haven't heard
Oh
of
wow.
it? It's insane.
Yeah, I'll be on for that show.
Okay, cool. But maybe as a twist, you can talk about good soup stocks. You should follow this Nancy stock tracker. You can't lose. That's definitely true. Yeah, she's made a lot. The S&P also safe and awesome. Maxing out my Roth every year. Yeah, the Roth is the best because you don't get taxed on it ever. So like if you double your stuff in the Roth, like you don't have to pay taxes on it, which is great. Plus it does call option stock purchase. Yeah. She has like deep in the money Nvidia calls. Like she's made so much money on them. It's crazy. Because washing the cover.
Okay. Oh, what do we got? Hold on. Uneducated reimbursement. What do we? Oh, dude. Oh, Walt, the best viewers on Social B right now.
Socialb.ru.
Yeah, dude. This is how you.
Bot.
That's how you know you've made it when uneducated reimbursement.
Yeah.
That's AKA student loans, uneducated reimbursement.
Roth is going to be, you can't take your money until way down the road. It's just a retirement account. Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, but you're going to be that age at some point anyway. You know, like you have to have a retirement plan. I don't know. I guess maybe I don't know how old you are, Larry, but like for me, like when I first got my Roth account, I was like 27 or so, maybe no, actually probably like 25. And like back then it was like 60. That's so far away. I think it's whatever age it is. Let's pretend it's 60. For like that's 18 years for me now. Like that's like not that far. So I am like thinking more and more about this. Like each year, I'm like, yeah, I want to like put as much in the Roth as possible because then you can't get taxed on it. So yeah, I mean that's like that is definitely important. Live young, die fast. Exactly. Yeah, 59 and a half. Yeah, so yeah, it's gonna that's coming up soon. I'm gonna be 42 and a half in a couple of weeks. So it's 17 years, only 17 years. That's crazy. Because like I said, when I opened my Roth, like it seemed like an eternity away, but not now. Still loan out versus the Roth if you have to. You can actually take money out. You have to pay a penalty, but like you can do it if you need it. When people hit their 40s, start doing Roth. Exactly. Yeah, I had that realization. The SEC, the fraud for SEC got fired last night. What theory do you think they don't want to be investigated, and by whom? I don't. There's a lot of fraud out there. I don't know. Anyway, let's speaking of fraud, let's get to the Chiefs. And I'm referring, of course, to their officiating favorability there. I will say though, I forget who said it in the chat. It might have been Bagley or Mike, but someone brought up that Clete Blakeman is the official for this game. Which gave me some concern at first because Clete Blakeman is pretty notorious for having shady calls. But Clete Blakeman, under with the Chiefs have a losing record under Clete Blakeman here. So maybe they won't get all the calls this time. Maybe the NFL did this on purpose. I don't know. But anyway, we have the Bills at the Chiefs. To me, these teams are. You said you think the Bills are definitely better than the Chiefs. If I remember correctly, you saying that early in the show.
I did say that. Yes.
I think they're pretty even. I have the Bills second in my power rankings. I have the Chiefs third. So there's not much of a difference. Bills by hair for me. I don't think there's much of a difference in my opinion. What I like here though for the Bills, it's twofold. One, the Chiefs tackles are terrible. The Texans had a big edge there last week with Will Anderson and Daniel Hunter. Now, the Bills don't have that much of an edge with their edge rushers, but I still think they do have an edge. Like they still have Von Miller, they still have some other good edge rushers. They're not like amazing, but they're still pretty good. The Bills are 10th in pressure rate, so I think they should be able to get to Mahomes without blitzing. The other thing is that the Chiefs have struggled against scrambling quarterbacks. Against Josh Allen earlier this year, I believe Josh Allen had like 65 rushing yards or so. In the Week 1 game against the Ravens, Lamar Jackson had 122 rushing yards. So this is a team that really struggles against mobile quarterbacks. And Josh Allen, obviously, I mentioned him. Like, he's obviously a mobile quarterback, so he should be able to do well here. So I like these two matchup edges for the Bills. My concern is that the Chiefs are going to get some calls. But if it's Clete Blakeman, maybe that won't be the case. So I'm going to be on the Bills. I like this game from a betting perspective a lot less than the other one. But I do think this could be the more entertaining game because I think there's a chance Eagles-Redskins gets out of hand. So what are your thoughts on this game?
See, beginning of the show. If you're like me and you're like, like I was saying earlier, just I love the Bills. I think they're to me, I think they're the superior team. I just don't know what's going to happen. I like I stated before, it's hard for me to watch these Chiefs games. Just bet Cleveland. God, I can't get anything straight tonight. Just take the Chiefs money line, and then you'll be happy either way. That's if I was betting on this, that's exactly what I would do. That way, I'd get something out of it. So, God, I really hope the Bills win. I really do. They deserve it too. They deserve it too. What kind of props do you like in this? How about Fred Flintstone anytime touchdown?
Oh, before we get to that, Slew asking Spags blitz Stroud a lot in the second half. He did. And Stroud was awful against the blitz. How is Josh Allen against the blitz this year? I'll tell you, it's pretty good. Josh Allen against the blitz this year. So let's compare it to when he's not blitzed. When he's not blitzed this year, he's completed 64% of his passes, 12 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. When he's been blitzed this year, 62.7% completion, which is like a very slight dip, which is not meaningless. But 16 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. So 4 more touchdowns, 2 fewer interceptions when he's been blitzed. So pretty good. Josh Allen against the blitz. So yeah, that's going to be a lot tougher here for the Chiefs. So it's a good point, Slew. I hadn't brought that up. I didn't bring it up last week with Stroud. That's definitely something to watch out for. Maybe another edge for the Bills. I might end up betting the Bills, maybe a unit or two, maybe depending on how the first game goes. I know they're not correlated, but maybe I'll feel better about it and bet a unit or two of the Bills if I win with the Eagles. So yeah, Allen will run. Yeah, exactly. Josh Allen hasn't been taking sacks lately. So I like the Bills here. Props here for this game. My favorite prop is Dalton Kincaid over 32.5 receiving yards. The Chiefs have been awful against tight ends all year, the worst team against tight ends. Remember, it goes back to week 1. Remember that Isaiah Likely had that insane game. Yeah, it's all year. They've been getting destroyed by tight ends. So Dalton Kincaid, 32.5. Dawson Knox started this game in this matchup the first time because Kincaid was out. He had 40 receiving yards in that game, and he missed a quarter with an injury. So if Knox can get 40 receiving yards, I think Kincaid get 32.5. So I like that over. The same game parlay is that Dalton Kincaid over 32.5 receiving yards. Josh Allen over 47.5 rushing yards. Talked about how the Chiefs struggle against mobile quarterbacks. Travis Kelce over 67.5 receiving yards. Kelce is just a monster in the playoffs. And then DeAndre Hopkins under 23.5 receiving yards. Hopkins he ran just 13 routes last week. Just feels like he just disappeared. And the Bills are good against outside receivers anyway. So what are your thoughts on these props and singing parlay before we get into the stuff you like?
Yeah, I don't do too many parlays. Let's see the numbers on Fred Flintstone. He didn't really get in the. Did he? I mean, he didn't have a touchdown last week, but I think he was plus 500 last week or something, wasn't he? Plus 450.
I think so. I remember not liking the props or the odds on him, just because he was close to the other guys. He did have a big catch in the game. Fred Flintstone, Matt Collins, for those who don't know, is plus 650. So Gainwell's odds are better. 32-1 to score the first touchdown. You like that?
Yeah, Fred Flintstone first and last. No, I don't know. I mean, I think plus 650 because he was like plus 450 or plus 500. I don't know. There might be some value there.
Do you like anything else? Like Josh Allen's minus 120.
Yeah, I mean, I
James
really
Cook
like Cook at plus 135. I mean, that seems that looks pretty juicy to me. Plus 135.
Yeah,
Really, really good chance. What's Barkley? He's got to be like minus one.
Yeah, he's minus for sure. Barkley is minus 250.
Minus 250. Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty rough. Like I'd put that in a single game parlay, but otherwise it's pretty tough.
Cook to score plus 135. That seems almost too good to be true. I really like that, but
I do too. I think that's a pretty good one. Kelsey plus 130 seems okay too. And what's Kincaid? Because they talked about him. Plus 340. I think this is the best value. Plus Kincaid, because like I said, Chiefs awful against tight ends, so he could definitely get there. 17-1's first touchdown too is not terrible.
Yeah, keep going down. Let's see if there's anyone worth like.
Well, Ty Johnson has done stuff plus 650 as well. Ray Davis scored last week plus 750. I feel like people might be chasing that though. Dawson Knox, another tight end, and he gets like 3 targets a week, so he could definitely score.
Knox and Davis have longer odds than both defenses. I guess I don't know. What do I know?
Yeah. Justin Watson's disappeared ever since Marquise Brown came back.
Pirine. Get Pirine in there, bro.
Pirine 11-1.
Yeah. Juju Smith-Schuster. I forget he's on the team.
I know. Remember that one insane Monday night game he had against the Saints? The Saints can't stop slot receivers. And then they just like disappeared. They like did nothing else all year.
Yeah. I completely forgot he was still on the team.
Yeah.
Gonna fall at the one. Oh no. That sounds like something that would happen to me.
Yeah, I know. Right? 200
rushing yards, 0 touchdowns. Yeah, seriously.
What are Curtis Samuels? He scored in the first game. Curtis.
Yeah, he had a pretty good number. If my eyes don't deceive me.
Plus 750 on Curtis Samuel.
Yeah, that's. Why don't you parlay Samuel and Flintstone?
Because I want to not lose money.
Ray Davis plus 750. Wait, he scored recently too, didn't he?
He scored last week.
Last week.
Thanks for listening to me. I said he scored last week.
That's twice in a row. Maybe Swagger Matters is on to something.
You guys don't know. You guys listening to this don't know this. Like last week, I brought up a stat that it was like it was the Texas Chiefs stat where like I mentioned it during the show, and I think it was right after John Sanders said so much for that 08 Cardinals comparison. And I was like, well, in fairness, the Texans became the first playoff team to lose after outgaining the opponent by 100 yards and having no turnovers. And then Quacky here sends me a text the next morning of like that exact stat. It's like, dude, I mentioned this on the show last night.
It was, to be fair, it was like 3 days later, I think. But then I was like, I should have accompanied it by saying, with the picture, I should have been like, wait, this is what you brought up, right? Yeah. Because I couldn't, I don't know. Sometimes I get in like autopilot and,
That's you could have saved yourself there. It's like, no, yeah, I know you mentioned it. I just wanted to share this tweet I saw.
I guess that's what I meant. Yeah, so I was implying. Not that I'm actually stupid. Give me a break, man. I was, I have my brain is special, but I shouldn't say it. No, you know me. It's all part of my antics here.
Absolutely.
But yeah, Juju Smith-Schuster 9-1. Dude, imagine he got like first touchdown 40-1. That would.
I feel like you're on like 80-1 first touchdown is like not insane. I don't think I bet it, but like I could actually see that happening. You know what I mean? Like these other ones, I don't. Like, these guys don't play.
Yeah.
But like Remigio plays special teams. So, like Pirine actually is on the field sometimes. So. Mm-hmm. Again, I don't like he's not on the field that often, but like he actually plays. So 81's like not crazy. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, Kincaid I think is my favorite value. I think Cooper's kind of interesting. He hasn't done anything in these two playoff games, but in fairness, like, well, the first game he had to deal with Patrick Surtain. I don't know what happened last week. I think it was like a weird game script because Buffalo was up so much, and so they didn't have to throw. And plus, like the weather conditions weren't great. So I feel like Cooper could have like a surprise game. He's only 4,100 on DraftKings. I think he's a little interesting. He's made it into some of my lineups, not a lot, but like some of them. And I think that he's only like plus 50 better than Matt Collins. Like that seems crazy. It's like he plays way more than Matt Collins. So yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, Matt Collins doesn't play like somebody that should be dressed up like Fred Flintstone before the game. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. I've been using that nickname like on other shows. Like I've been.
Oh, nice.
I have given you credit for it, but
that's all right. Yeah. Wait, you have or have not been given?
I have given you credit.
Oh, I appreciate it. Oh, wow, man, I get street cred here.
No, it's great. Yeah, great nickname. I love it.
Yeah, and it's not derogatory in any way. He dressed up as Fred Flintstone. It's just, I'm honoring it.
Yeah. So Travis Kelce, anytime touchdown should be money. He's about to break playoff record. Yeah. I think that's the one I bet for the Chiefs plus 130. I don't know if like I like Kelce or Cook more. Like they're pretty close. Kelce first touchdown 8 plus 850. That's interesting that he has better odds for anytime touchdown, but he has worse odds for first touchdown, 850 compared to 750 for Cook. I wonder why that is. I don't know. But I think I'd be interested in that plus 850 to score first touchdown. Seems reasonable. The Chiefs usually have a good first drive because they script well. So it could happen. Maybe I'll bet it. I don't know. I'll think about it.
Did you hear Tony Romo in the booth of the Bills-Ravens game when he goes, "Let Cook"? Yes. I thought that was, I don't know, just like the delivery, like I could see his face when he was saying it. I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I don't mind him. A lot of people don't. Well, I feel like there's a lot of people that don't like a lot of commentators. But when he first started, remember he was predicting the plays, like, "Hey, yeah. cool gimmick, man." But and obviously he toned it down. Cool gimmick, but don't do it every play. It gets really annoying, But between Romo and then Tom Brady I really enjoyed Tom Brady in the booth in that Lions football team game because it was like genuine. He's like, "This is crazy!" Like it was just. I love to hear the genuine reactions. Not the Bob Costas types.
It's crazy that there's an owner in the booth. It's kind of weird, right?
Wait, it's crazy that there's what?
An NFL owner in the booth.
In the commentary booth?
Yeah. Tom Brady.
Oh, right. So I didn't even think about it. I was like, wait, who? I'm like, Al Michaels? Or
like, I don't know if he's done any Raiders games this year. Because usually like Fox does NFC games and like the Raiders haven't been good enough to be on a national TV game, but like eventually he will have to do a Raider game. Like how will he be unbiased in that case? Like he owns the team. It's not like he used to play for the team, right? And where like different personnel now, different like when he has to do Patriots games, like different personnel, different coach. So yeah. But like if he like owns the team, like I was unbiased.
I was thinking that like when he was calling like the Bucks game when Mike Evans, like broke the record there in the last play of the season. And it's like that's got to be kind of cool. Like, he's got to be rooting for like those guys he won a super, like Wirfs is on there. Obviously Evans, he won a Super Bowl with him. What was Vita Vea was on that team, wasn't he? Or no?
Yeah, Lavonte David's there.
Yeah. There's probably a lot more that I'm missing too, or maybe not. I don't know, but so I guess same idea, but the ownership certainly creates more of a conflict of interest. I feel like, but also like, what's he going to say about Mike? Like, oh, you hype him up, yeah, like the guy's a legend,
Yeah.
So it's, I get it though, but I don't know. I actually think he's doing a decent job. He's like at least his reactions seem pretty genuine. I'll say he's doing better than I thought he would.
I thought his first few games were pretty bad. He said like a lot of obvious stuff, like a lot of cliches. But I do think he got better as the year progressed, and I thought he was actually like pretty good in the playoff game.
Yeah, I mean, even if he is like, I definitely think he like cut out for it. Like he could be pretty decent at it. But there's a learning curve, just like anything else. Even though he's been around the game, like it's going to take him time to get used to the cadence. I mean, like I think like you and I have talked about, like we've been friends for 20 years, and even like when we first did the show, like yeah, it was fine, but like it's come such a long way, and like the way we interact and go back and forth, even though we've been interacting like this for 20 years, and like we know each other very, very well. So like there's like certainly, I mean, I guess I'm stating the obvious here. Yeah, I'm pulling a Brady and stating the obvious. No, like he'll get better with it. But I as you know, and as I've expressed on here, like I'm really into like the solid commentary and great calls.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
but
for sure.
it's like who do you think is your you have like these groups, like these demographics of people, of sports fans, football fans, that just really like, you hear people, I hate Collinsworth, I hate Chris Collinsworth, and there's people that really hate Joe Buck. I mean, who do you think is maybe the most beloved, like current? Do you think like duo? Like I love Al Michaels, but a lot of people don't like Collinsworth. I really like Chris and Al.
Chris and Al.
Chris Collinsworth and Al Michaels, yeah.
Yeah, but they're not together anymore. It's
yeah, but I'm saying when they were.
Oh, when they were. Okay. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I'd like them together. I think the most beloved by most people is Greg Olson. I haven't heard anyone say anything negative about Olson, and he's phenomenal in the booth, and like I like people like sing his praises. Like he's great.
I do like Olson.
And people, I've heard this many times. Like they think it's an injustice that he got kicked off the #1 team on Fox in favor of Brady, because like he has been better than Brady.
I've heard that too, and I think he's a good color commentator.
Yeah,
for sure.
Awesome.
For sure,
Greg Olson's great.
Yeah, he's very good. I like, I like Mike Tirico too as a play-by-play.
Yeah, I like.
I think, what the call I really love by Tirico. I remember this was 2015, and it was Ravens Browns, and Will Hill blocked that. I can't remember if he blocked it and recovered it, but he recovered it for a touchdown. Will Hill's gonna win the game on a blocked field goal. That's a great call. That's a great call by Mike Tirico. You remember that one?
I don't remember the call specifically.
But do you remember the play, Will Hill?
Yeah, I remember the play. I don't remember the call though.
It's like a really good genuine excitement in his voice. I love that. It really helps
Kevin
make the game.
Kevin Harlan's good too. I like Kevin Harlan. Like he had that one call where like the streaker went on the field, and like he called the play of the streaker, and it was great.
How about here's one, not football, but remember the 90s NBA, Marv Albert, and 90s NBA. Oh my God! I mean, no one did it better. No one did it better than Marv Albert.
Yeah,
was it Marv Albert and Bill Walton? Was it? Wait, what, weren't they together? Or am I imagining that?
I'm not. Maybe I'm not sure. Collinsworth can be good. He oversells too much. I like Collinsworth just fine. There's no one I dislike except for Joe Buck. I don't like Joe Buck.
Oh no, why not?
I just don't think he's made for the NFL. I think he's more of a laid back baseball guy. Like he doesn't really have a lot of excitement in his voice a lot of the time, and I don't think he's a good person anyway. So that's something else. Yeah, he said 2 hours. He's 2 hours.
He is.
Yeah. Like there's some nepotism involved too. You can't ignore. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, he does come off as condescending at times, for sure.
Yeah,
but I mean, he has had some great calls too. I mean, like the Diggs play, the Minnesota Miracle or Minneapolis Miracle, what do they call it?
Yeah, Minneapolis Miracle. Iron Eagle is good too. He has like a lot of like cool references. Like I remember Isaiah Rochelle. He used to be a player for the Chargers. Like when like Rochelle had a sack, he'd be like Rochelle from Milan to Minsk.
Wait, what was it? Rochelle from what?
Rochelle from Milan to Minsk. Have you ever? I don't know if you're. I guess you never saw the Seinfeld episode.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah. It was. It was like a movie or something that some actress was in, but it was like Rochelle from Milan Minsk, and like he just said that. I was like, that's
Oh, that's
he has
good.
like
That's
he has some
obscure. I
South
like
Park
it.
references too. So like,
Oh, nice.
he's like
Yeah,
definitely he's all caught up on his like pop culture stuff.
yeah, that's cool. I like Iron Eagle too.
Yeah.
You meet Collinsworth. Wow.
Yeah, I like Tony Romo. I like Romo,
And I think he and Jim Nance are a good comedy.
Yeah.
Jim Nance is a good play-by-play. He's solid.
Yeah, Nance is great. Yeah, Nance is awesome.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think of Mike Breen in the NBA? When he does like the finals on what is that? ABC? Yeah, ABC. I think it's starting to get overdone, but when they hit a big shot, like Curry, bang! Like every time they hit a three, bang!
Right, it's always
he's had some good bangs though. I didn't mean it like that, but no. But he's had some calls. He's had some calls. He's had some bang calls that are like great calls. Mike Breen's pretty good. He had one of my favorite calls of all time is when LeBron James had that block on Iguodala. Iguodala to Curry, back to Iguodala. He goes, "Oh, blocked by James, LeBron James with the rejection." I remember watching that live, and my heart was pounding. I couldn't. That was a spectacular call by Mike Breen and an incredible play. One of the greatest NBA plays of all time. I would contend.
I don't know.
Whether you don't.
I'm always anti LeBron, so I've never
like. Fair, I'm not. I definitely think Jordan's better, but like you can't deny the fact like. However you feel about him, that was an incredible play, and that was like because the way he threw it back to Iguodala, and it was like I knew that layup was going to go in, and out of nowhere, he just flew in out of nowhere. I was like, no way! I really got excited. I was happy they won, actually, and you know how I feel because I'll tell you what, nothing made me happier than when the Mavericks beat the Heat that first time, because it was like, we're just going to stack this team. It's going to be real easy, and I was like, You don't get it handed to you that easy. You got to work a little bit harder. Now, I wasn't really upset that they did get the rings. That the Heat did get a couple, but that first year that they didn't, I could cry right now. 105-95, the Mavericks won Game 6. Every now and then I watch that game. I could cry tears of joy right now, Walter. I was so happy that they won that series. I really was. Nice. I really was. So anyhow, that's how I feel about the situation. What do you guys think? Summerall and Madden. We got a Summerall and Madden from John. You know that Pat Summerall was, and I mean no disrespect by this, as a former binge drinker myself, but like that like Summerall was like toasted in there all the time, like he was like a functioning, and again I'm throwing no shade. I respect the man, one of the greatest of all time. Did you know that though?
Well, I did not. I do remember
supposedly he was like completely drunk in there all the time.
Really, I do remember. Like John Madden, like always saying this crazy stuff, and then you go on like rants for like a minute, and then someone will be like, "Thanks, John."
Like it was such a perfect like give and take. Like Pat Summerall could reel him back in, like he could reel him back in and get. Let's see it here, and there's the or like there he is now with the give to Emmitt Smith. Like it's. It was just the cadence of it all was so good, and the dichotomy of their banter, I suppose.
Yeah, I do think the best. We have not talked about the best play-by-play guy ever was Kevin Riley, the former Eagles play-by-play guy.
Dude, Kevin Riley was a legend, man.
My Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
Maurice Drew Jones with a carry. All my Philadelphia Eagles carry him, take on for a loss.
MDJ. Yeah.
You didn't get every name wrong. It was insane.
Yeah.
As long as like he got all the Eagles names right, like all the other opponents, he called them like the Jaguars have Maurice Drew Jones.
I remember Emmitt Smith called everyone, if he didn't know their name, he called Al Harris Al Johnson.
Al Johnson.
Dude,
Johnson to be called.
That was so great. I love it. It's just like that was the default name he went to. Decent. You wish Emmitt would have gotten another chance. I do too. Remember, I've told you this story many times.
around
Walter.
locally.
But did you know that one year they had Emmett Smith announce the World Series of Poker main event?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
you,
Then let's shuffle up and play or something.
shuffle up, yeah, everyone knows shuffle up and deal.
Yeah.
And he goes, let's shuffle up and play. And then like the commentators were like, Emmett may have stumbled there, but he didn't too many times in his career. And I was like, dude, I told you right away.
He actually did get a second chance, not on the national stage, but he was the Cowboys color commentator during the preseason one year, and he he had some missteps. He's like I'm telling you, the Cowboys they're gonna have to go back to square zero here. There's no square zero on Chutes and Ladders as far as I know. That's the genesis of that saying, by the square one. Like that's
yeah.
they're referring to Chutes and Ladders. Okay. Go back to square one. There's no square zero in Chutes and Ladders.
Yeah. I don't think I knew that about it. I didn't know its origin.
Yeah, that's where that saying comes from. Like,
I didn't realize it was Chutes and Ladders related. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, it is.
I'm pro Chutes and Ladders.
Yeah, Chutes and Ladders was invented in 200 AD in India.
Say that one more time.
Chutes and Ladders, the game was invented in 200 AD in India.
You were telling me that once. I remember, like maybe on the show like a year ago. That's crazy.
I know,
dude. I haven't. Remember, it's like always like a game you would see like growing up, like in every like classroom. Chutes and Ladders, and then you had like Life. Remember the game of Life was fun. I love the color, like all the different colors on the. You like just could do the spinner all day. And then like, did you ever have Mousetrap? We were talking about board games a couple shows ago.
Mousetrap, yeah.
Like I never actually I had Mousetrap, but I never actually played the game itself. I just set up the track because it was like a Rube Goldberg machine. You guys know about that? Like one thing, if you're not familiar with Mousetrap, you hit one thing like a Rube Goldberg machine. One thing sets off the other, and then the trap comes down. But there was like actually, of course, it wasn't like Domino Rally. You remember Domino Rally where you just set up like the dominoes?
Mm-hmm.
And I had that too. But I never actually like sat there and played the game Mousetrap. I was like, let's just set up the Rube Goldberg machine and do it. And that was like enough entertainment for hours.
Yeah. No, we had Mousetrap. Actually, it's funny, Chutes and Ladders was brought up because I was at my parents' house today just for dinner with my kids. And in the kids' play place was actually Chutes and Ladders game. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Oh, there you go.
My kids are a little too young to play that right now. It's like 3 and 1.5. So they're not. My son has no attention span, so he would never play a game. And my daughter would probably like eat the pieces. So
yeah. Just make sure they don't start on square zero whenever they're ready to play.
yeah, exactly. Is Bitcoin a good buy now that it's over 100,000? I think its administration will be pro crypto. Thanks, Baron.
This is not financial advice, by the way.
Yes, this is not financial advice. I do
I'm
think
Walt's attorney.
I do think Bitcoin will go a lot higher. Personally, I think there could be a dip where you can get a better price. All it takes is like one scare, and then it goes down. I don't think it'll go down that far though. I don't think it'll go. I have a hard time seeing it going below like 80 or 75K. I mean, something could happen. I think below possibly like the worst case scenario is like 60K, but then it'll bounce back up. I do think it'll rise though. I saw today someone thinks it's going to be in the millions in the future, and I could see that happening. But especially with like how much money the Federal Reserve prints the Federal Reserve prints $540 million a day. Like that's insane. And like Bitcoin is just a play against inflation. So yeah, it makes sense for it to go up. I have some Bitcoin. I don't have nearly as much as I'd like. I guess most people could say that. But I do think it'll be worth a lot of money for sure. A lot more money, I should say. Now let's talk about how skilled Quacky is at this draw arcade games that grab the made in China toys, which I still guarantee that like no one has ever wanted those.
The claw game. I wanted a claw game back in May. I told you that.
Yeah, right. I don't believe it.
I won a couple Pokeballs. It was all Pokemon balls in there.
Yeah, sure.
I'm gonna go back. So. I'm gonna go back into that boba tea joint and win the crane game, and I'm gonna film it.
Okay.
And I'm gonna send it to you via electronic mail, and you're gonna pull it up on the show, and I'm gonna show the world that the crane game can be beaten. And right here on the Walter Football After Dark show.
I'll find that. We'll find out that it's a doctored video.
I like go to great lengths to like, create the illusion. What do we have here?
BITO is an ETF that pays a hefty monthly dividend. IBIT could take you on a wild ride. Okay, I'll look into those. I'm not familiar with them. Yeah, I assume that like they don't have cash secured puts and cover calls. At least BITO, I mean ETFs don't have that. So, or I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I have to look into it. But okay, we'll look at it. Bitcoin is definitely not a buy. I think you could buy it. I don't think it's like the best investment you can make right now. If it dips, then I feel differently about it. But I do think that it will go up a lot. It has to go to 500K for 5x. I mean, like if you get a 2x, it's still pretty good, you know. IBIT does do calls and puts, a recent addition. Interesting. Let's see here. Do we have IBIT? Let's look at this options chain. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not. I don't know. I think it's. I'll have to look it up later. I think this is like this is a bad web. That's a bad website for it. Okay, here we go. So what is it right now? It's 5970 iShares Bitcoin Trust ETF. So what is this? The date is for January 31st, which is the next expiration. So $60, $1.51, and $1.30, $1.11. Interesting. So you need $5,900 to sell one covered call here. I don't know. This looks pretty good. I have to look into like what this is exactly, but it seems like reasonable to like sell like a $62 cover call for $82, or even like 61 for 111. Yeah, I mean that's pretty good. Like right now on GameStop, I think you can get like probably $60 or $50 on it's GameStop right now is like $27.50 or so for like a $29. I think you can get like $50 or $60. So it actually like comes out pretty even here. But I don't know if this has like earnings coming up, because like earnings usually helps expand the price. So yeah, it doesn't look like it. So yeah, I don't know. I like again, I have to look into this. But yeah, thanks for bringing this up. That's definitely something to look at, because like, you know, right now you can sell cover calls and stuff in GameStop, which is great. If GameStop skyrockets, like you're not going to be able to do that because you know your calls will be assigned, and then it'll be like too much to buy the shares. So like you need like backups. So that's what I was looking at, like Palantir, for example. Although that's gone up a lot. IBIT looks interesting from a first glance, so I'll have to look into it. Like I said. Maybe I don't understand. Bitcoin, some dude bought a pizza with 10K bits about 15 years ago, and now USA, China have 200K Bitcoins. I mean, yeah, look, as long as the Federal Reserve keeps printing money, Bitcoin's going to keep going up in value, because you can't print more Bitcoin. There's only a certain amount. And so, you know, if like one day the Federal Reserve just shuts off and stops printing money, then like that's when you stop buying Bitcoin. But they're going to keep doing it because the Federal Reserve are a bunch of corrupt people who should be in prison. Is it time to discontinue the penny? I understand it costs 3 cents to mint 1 penny. I saw that. I don't know if that's true. If it does, then yes, absolutely. That seems like a lot to mint a penny. 3 cents. I don't know. I felt like it should be a lot cheaper than that. But if that's true, then yes, it should be.
Save your pennies, man.
yeah. The penny's done. The problem is what coin is next. Yeah. I mean, what's the problem? The slippery slope is not banning the coins. The slippery slope is printing all this money. That's the slippery slope that we need to end. Penny must hold on. Bring back the half cent. Bring back the half cent. I bought BITO 6 to 7 months ago. It's $23 to pay it out for $9 in dividends. Okay. Yeah, like I said, I'll have to look into that as well. When we do our stock show, I'll offer my opinion on it. But that, yeah, BITO and what is this one? IBIT. Okay. I'll definitely look into them. I've been willing it, not bad. IBIT is 100% Bitcoin. Okay. Would you invest in Kielbasa coin? Yes. Yes. I'd be prepared to lose it all. Like, it's like Hawk coin. By the way, no one's seen that girl, the Hawk girl, since that whole scandal.
Dude, I got out at the top on it.
Nice.
That'd be, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't want to, some people are like, oh, if you're stupid enough to lose, like, I mean, yeah, it's dumb, but like at the same time, I don't know, I'm not going to like dance on somebody's grave, I guess. I do think it seems very silly, but, no, I just could never imagine like rushing to buy that, but I guess people are always.
Yeah, I don't understand why. I mean, if people thought they could make a quick buck, I get it. It just seems so. I hate these altcoins that don't mean anything. Seems like such a scam, but I don't know. That's my thing. But anyway, a lot of stocks are scams too. Like it's just the CEOs just keep diluting shares like crazy, like AMC or BBIG. The guys in the CEO, like I said, is in prison. Can people in China buy Bitcoin? So China they banned cryptocurrency exchanges, but you can if you're in China, you can still own and trade crypto. But again, there's no exchange, so it's a little tricky there. Can't do a lot in China. So, all right. Before we get out of here, let's look at I don't know if you want to look at the hypothetical matchups for the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you what. One of these games will probably be the first game of the season next year too, huh? One of these games this weekend will probably. I bet you.
It could be, yeah. Yeah, I don't know if you saw these lines yet, but Bills are -4.5 against the Redskins. Bills are -1.5 against the Eagles. Chiefs are -1.5 against the Eagles, and the battle of the indigenous peoples. Chiefs are -4.5 against the Redskins. Is there anything stand out to you there?
Yeah, so like if that matchup doesn't happen though, then it's just void.
Yes, yeah, because it's hypothetical. Yeah.
I would take the Chiefs -4.5 over the Washington football team.
Yeah, I mean, do you think that if it is the matchup, do you think the line's going to change a lot? Because like I think about it this way, like
I guess that's
if the Redskins beat the Eagles, I think they're going to earn some more respect, and I could see that line dropping to like 3.5.
Yes, that's true.
So I feel like you don't need to bet that now. And I still would like the Chiefs. I think that'd be like a pretty big mismatch. I think Redskins versus Eagles, Chiefs or Bills would be a big mismatch.
What's the line on Phillies versus Billies?
1.5. Billy's -1.5.
Give me the Billies -1.5.
I actually I think I'd take the Eagles in that scenario.
Oh, really? Okay.
The Eagles are my number one team in my power rankings. I think the Eagles had the better defense. So yeah, I don't know. I think you could really go either way. I think it's so close. Like Eagles are 1, Bills are 2 in power rankings. So
I wouldn't if you were interested in that, I would either leave that alone or take the Bills because, there's just a lot of question marks with Hurts, and like if he goes down in this game, like they could still win the game and he gets, you know what I mean? Like with him not being 100%, now all of a sudden, obviously, I hope no one gets injured, but if we've seen he's been banged up, especially lately, and they go, somehow they end up winning this game. Like if he got hurt early and they still won. Now Bills -1.5 without Hurts, with Kenny Pickett. I don't know. Like that looks mighty good. And obviously, I hope that doesn't happen because I wouldn't wish injury on anyone, of course. But we've seen that he hasn't played as well with the injury, and so I like the Billies there -1.5 if that comes to fruition.
I do like the fact that he'll have 2 weeks to recover from the injury. So I mean
that's fair. That's fair too. I guess that was a dumb thing for me to say, but hey,
you never know. I mean, if
I mean,
I don't know if he may not.
He'll still be less than ideal. I don't know. I mean,
yeah,
because I think that's going to change the line anyway.
Yeah,
so
sure. Yeah,
maybe to like 3 or something. So you're getting a little bit.
Yeah, last year Niners are -2 against the Chiefs. It's amazing how everyone was so down on the Chiefs last year. Like they just never bought into them. Just improving because they looked so bad in the regular season. Like they lost to the Raiders on Christmas. They lost to the Packers on Sunday Night Football. Like they had some like sketchy losses. They look so flimsy heading into the playoffs. They
Mm-hmm.
just turned it on, and like no one ever bought them. Like the Ravens were favored over them. They were small favorites over the Dolphins in the first round. I forget what the second round matchup was, but I don't quite remember. Oh, the Bills game. That was I forget what that line was, but it was pretty short too. Went Word Warriors, yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Slew asking Canada is plus 290 to win the Stanley Cup. It's been a long drought. What do you think? You are the resident hockey expert. I don't know anything about hockey right now.
I actually haven't been watching a lot of hockey lately, but you got to like Winnipeg, man. I don't know. They've been looking pretty solid, but they've had years where they've done that and then the bottom falls out. But you know, I think it's a decent play. Probably coming out of the I don't know. I like the Capitals too. They had a really strong finish and stuck into the playoffs last year. And obviously they're doing very well. So I don't know what the odds are on them to win the Stanley Cup, but plus 290 for Canada. I think you got a shot.
I have it on the screen here. It's 19-1.
Okay. Capitals are 19-1. It's actually not.
My recommended Utah Hockey Club bet 75-1. Does that have a chance?
I haven't looked in the standings for a while. I'm telling you what, ever since Battle of the Horses, I really haven't. I mean, I've been watching the football games, but like, I haven't bet or I haven't.
So you haven't bet any sport? I thought it was just football. No.
Yeah, no, not any sports since Battle of the Horses. I got scarred, man. That was bad news. I can't believe that. Definitely take. I guess they really don't. People don't believe in the record. They have the best record in the East. They have the best record in hockey. They're 19-1.
The Capitals.
Yeah, they have 71 points. Like far and away the best team in the East. Winnipeg. Yeah, you've got Winnipeg and Edmonton who are in first place. So like, I mean, you got to like the plus. Yeah, I like the plus 290 in Toronto. I'd take that too. There's a chance it could be an all Canada final. I can't believe that 19-1 and Washington's got like they're far and away like they have 71 points. The next best team is Carolina. They have 64 points.
Yeah, they have. Have they played more games? No, they've only played 49 games, so they still have room to grow. Their lead.
A lot of these teams have played 50 or more.
I'm very confused by this because like I haven't followed hockey.
Take it.
Wild card.
Definitely. Oh, sorry.
Wild card. How many wild card teams get in?
2. So it's the top 3 from each conference, and then so like second or each division. Now I sound like Emmett. It's the top 3 from each division, and then the next 2 best records. That's my understanding anyway. Okay. So that like second and third in each division will play each other. And then the 2 first place teams will get the 1 or 2 seeds depending on who has more points, and they'll play their respective 7 and 8.
Interesting. Okay. Where's my Utah Hockey Club? 5th in the. Okay. Yeah. Why would they be 19-1 if they're the best record? That doesn't make any sense.
I take it. You know what this reminds me of? Kind of. Remember? Let's see. It was before the 21-22 season, and somehow it was weird because it wasn't showing up on your end on Bovada. I got the Packers to have the most regular season wins at 17.5-1, and it hit. It hit.
No,
I couldn't believe it. I had 50 on it.
I'm gonna bet this. Yeah, I'm gonna bet this tonight.
19-1. Yeah, I mean that's a ton of value. That's really strange to me.
I'm gonna look at some other sports books to see what they have. Like, what if DraftKings has a better number?
That's worth checking out. I'm surprised to see that. I thought it would. Well, now the Capitals. Now they did get one in the 17-18 season. They did win a Stanley Cup, but they've had so many. They've had so many chances, and so many misses. Like, they have a reputation for not getting past the second round in the Ovechkin era. In fact, they've never gotten past the second round in the Ovechkin era. I don't believe, outside of. I might be wrong. Maybe they made it there once, but they couldn't get out of the second round forever. And then they finally won the Stanley Cup. Maybe they made the Eastern Conference Finals once after they got to the Stanley Cup, but I'm not sure. So maybe that's playing into it somehow. I mean, Ovechkin's, one of the greatest of all time, obviously. coming near the end of his career, but I mean, I don't know. They look solid at the end of last year. Like I said, they snuck into the playoffs, and I thought that they were maybe a team that could be, you know, I don't want to say make any noise because they were the 8th seed, but I'm not terribly surprised to see them doing as well as they are, I guess, this season based on that.
So I just pulled up on the screen there. People can see it. The Capitals are 14-1 at DraftKings. They're 12-1 on BetMGM and 13-1 at Caesars. So 19-1 is just great value. Just that alone.
Yeah, I'll definitely take it. I mean, they're going to make the playoffs. Like they have the, but then the President's Cup curse. They would say the team that gets the President's Cup that has the most points very rarely wins it. So
well, Trump is president now, so maybe it'll change. Yeah.
Imagine the Washington football team and the Washington Capitals both win their respective championships. Dude, and then the Nationals win.
I hope not, because I have a 17-1 bet on the Eagles to win the Super Bowl, and I put a lot of bonus bets that I've had on the Bills and the Chiefs. So I stand to win some decent money.
As long as the Commanders aren't in there.
Yeah, look, if the Redskins get to the Super Bowl, I don't know who the Commanders are, but if the Redskins get to the Super Bowl,
you don't know, you're completely clueless as to what I mean.
Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about. If the Redskins get there, I will obviously bet them to try to middle. I'm not gonna stand to win nothing.
Yeah, of course. I mean? Baseball team that's great in the regular season but aren't built for the playoff. Yeah, I mean, if you're referring to the Capitals, I mean, and they've proven that many, many times over the years. They've had some great teams. But they've run, even some of their best teams ran into the Penguins. To all three Penguins playoff runs, the Penguins beat them in the second round. So who knows what they couldn't have. Or when I say the Stanley Cup runs, when the Penguins won the Stanley Cup in the Crosby-Malkin era, they beat the Capitals in the second round every time. Man, I remember that 2009 season, or the 08-09 season when they won. The Capitals were up 2-0, and the Penguins came back and won in Game 7. That Game 7 was one of my favorite hockey games of all time.
Well, here's something interesting, too. Winnipeg, you mentioned them. They have the most points in the Western Conference.
Mm-hmm.
Their odds are pretty high, too. They're 17-1 on FanDuel.
Wow, yeah.
Let's look up DraftKings. They're 14-1 on DraftKings. On BetMGM. No, wait, hold on. I thought they logged me out. They did not. BetMGM, they are. Where are they? The Jets. They are 16-1. And then at Caesars, they are 15-1. So there's not much of a disparity as there is with Washington. But for a team that has the most points in the West, that seems high as well. 17-1, really? Why not bet both Winnipeg and Washington? I think it might be a good strategy.
Yeah, I mean, I think I like it. And as I said many times on the show, hockey playoffs are the one sport where anything can happen, eights upset ones. Not all the time, but we've seen it. I mean, we've seen two of the highest score, the best team of all time in the regular season, the Bruins. They lost in the first round 2 years ago to Florida, and then just a couple of years before that, the Lightning had a season almost. It was one of the highest point totals of all time. They got swept by the 8th seed Blue Jackets. So anything can happen. But I like that strategy. 17-1 and 19-1 for the teams with the two best.
Yeah, I mean, if you're betting 17-1 and 19-1, you can hedge that pretty easily.
Yeah. Larry here's asking about the Dallas Stars. The Stars seem like they've almost become the Capitals of the West. They get so close all the time. Or they lost the finals in 2020 to the Lightning, and they get so close every year. That it seems like they're always in. I know they made it to the Western Conference Finals. At least maybe 2 of the last 3 years, not more. I feel like eventually they're going to break through too. But
Mm-hmm.
so that's not a bad play. I don't think either. I don't think either. Oh, what
You
do
know,
we got here?
Andy talked me into, and I think this is pretty smart. I did the show with him on Thursday, and he said that what he does for the NFL heading into the season is he picks 3 teams from each conference, and he bets all their matchups in the for the Super Bowl. And so he has a ticket for Eagles over Bills, and then he bet Bills over Eagles, and I think he's like 90-1 on Eagles over Bills, which is
Oh my
insane.
god!
Right, exactly. So if you get
Wow.
what's like the best number for Capitals? You got Edmonton to beat Capitals 60-1. What
Oh,
about
I kind of like that,
or Capitals beat Oilers 85-1?
dude. How about Oilers over Maple Leafs? You see that?
Uh, and
It's
let's
probably
see,
going to be a trillion to look through.
Oilers, Oilets to beat.
Oilers.
Did you say Toronto?
Yeah.
50-1.
I was hoping it'd be a little bit better, but
Well, what about Jets to beat Capitals? I don't have that. Oh wait, sorry. Jets to beat Washington Capitals. To beat Washington, 120-1. Jets to beat Washington Capitals. What about Capitals to beat Winnipeg? 130-1. So if you pick like 3 teams in each conference, it's a lot tougher in hockey because, like you said, anything can happen. So maybe you don't want to do the strategy in the NHL. But for the NFL, I'm actually gonna like steal what Andy did, and like I'm gonna do that next year.
it's
I
an
think
interesting
it's like
strategy.
I think it's pretty brilliant. Yeah, and I mean he's been handicapping and betting games since the early '90s. So he knows a thing or two. Yeah.
I'd say so. Yeah. Yeah. There you go, Larry.
What's so great about this Carolina team? What do you think? I don't know. Do you know anything about them?
I haven't been following that closely. I mean, they have a lot of good players, and I think they're probably a little bit better, even than Okay, they have the second most points. Yeah, that's crazy. They're 7 points behind Washington. They played one more game than Washington. What, they're like plus 500. Like the sentiment is higher on them than the more than the standings clearly, but. Yeah, I mean Carolina's really good. They're another. I mean the East has a lot of tough teams. I mean the Devils, the Jersey Devils, they're good too. I can't believe the Rangers are really having a down year. Jeez, my Penguins are in dead last.
Your Penguins?
Yeah, I'm a Penguins fan.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I have pet penguins over here.
Okay.
Oh yeah, but yeah, I mean I like the Washington call.
Yeah.
I think that's a ton of value at 19-1.
What are your thoughts on the $1.3 million bet last night at the Caesars Palace and Chiefs money line to beat the Bills? Does someone know something? I mean, like, what could they possibly know outside of like weird injury, like you have like Josh Allen like tripped in his backyard, like on a rake, what could they know? What could they possibly know? I mean, the game hasn't happened. I don't know. I feel like it's just someone with a lot of money who just bet it. I don't know. I don't know if they know anything necessarily.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, and it could definitely. I mean, obviously, it could easily happen.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but that's my advice. If you don't like the Chiefs, take the Chiefs money line. That way, either way, you'll be happy. 4
Yeah.
Pete, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Imagine if it's like a 6 feet or 7 feet, like you're just miserable this whole time. we're talking like 3 years from now, like, will the Chiefs 6 feet?
Let's hope it doesn't come to that, but
yeah, we'll see. So what we learned tonight is bet Winnipeg, bet Washington, especially Washington. Sell cover calls. Do not buy AMC stock. And, don't eat chain pizza because you're eating plastic. All right, so
we never. Just so the people know, we never plan any of this.
no, I don't. I have no idea what we're going to talk about heading into the show ever. Ever. I have no script, anything at all. Like
same.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching. We're at the 2 hour mark, so we got to get going.
Yeah.
All right, thanks so much for watching, guys. Really appreciate it. And thanks for commenting, watching, all that. And please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video. Visit the link in the description for the merch store. Still asking when do the Walter football golf bets start? After the Super Bowl, the week right after the Super Bowl. That's when I'll start because like right now, my Tuesdays are dedicated to writing up the picks and like doing mock drafts and stuff like that. when the Super Bowl is over, I start publishing my mock drafts on Tuesday, so I do that on Monday. So I usually use my Tuesdays in the off season to do my golf research. So like that's why, well, it's one of the two reasons why I wait on golf. The other reason is because like there's not enough data out yet because like the golf season just started. So like I feel like handicapping golf right now is pretty tough because we don't have enough data. So once February hits, like we're gonna have enough data, and like the players will be in better shape and stuff like that. So it's just better. So like I said, the week after the Super Bowl, that's when we're gonna have golf. Are you still rocking with Buffalo? Yes. I'm taking the Bills. Have a good night, everyone. Hope the games don't suck tomorrow. Yeah. Hope. Well, let's hope Chiefs Bills is fun. Let's hope Eagles win very easily. I would love that. They're fun to play. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the golf as well. All right. So yeah, please hit like, subscribe, comment below. Share this video. Visit the link in the description of the merch store. Tom, do you want to plug your Twitch or anything else?
Yeah, come on down the Quacky T stream where I'm playing Rocket. Man, I've had quite a go on Rocket League. I've gotten second place in about 4 tournaments in the last week and a half. It's been a tough go. Great runs, but haven't been able to finish. I did win one maybe a couple weeks ago, but yeah, just on there bantering, similar to the show, but we're playing games. And come by sometime. Appreciate the support, Walt. Great to be here as always. I always have a great time with you.
Yeah, for sure. Love doing the show with you. Thank you guys. Love your content. Thank you, Dizam. Really appreciate it. Thanks for joining us on tonight. All right, guys. Good luck with all your bets tomorrow. Hope you hit everything. Hope we hit the parlays and all our picks, and we have nothing but good things to say on next week. We'll be back on Tuesday with Evan, and I think full schedule next week. I haven't heard any of the co-hosts say that they won't be doing the show, but we'll have a show regardless anyway. So, all right, guys, have a great rest of the weekend, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.